Hello everyone, my name is Bhavik Kachar. I'm a student from On-Campus Foundation Group, Coventry University. Today, I will be giving you a brief description about the triangulation of my research project. The topic for my research project is construction practices and high-rise buildings. It's a comparative analysis between developed and developing countries with respect to their construction practices. For introduction, I must say construction means to build the building or infrastructure. The main purpose of construction was to build a house. It all started with small shelters and huts, and now state of an art high-rise building. As there were many different civilizations in different parts of the world, man learned many unique ways of construction. And still today there are many different types of construction practices ongoing in different areas of all over world. The main purpose of this research project is to compare different types of construction practices in a developed country like the US versus a developing country, India. To be precise, this project will compare the construction practices and its methodology for high-rise buildings and structures between New York, US, and for this research project, the research questions and the project hypothesis are presented in the PPT as well. The research question signifies the area of expertise where this project will gather information and sources to fill in the gap for the project hypothesis. The research questions for this project consist of what role does government plays in construction industry, do the project budget and cost management affect the construction sector and country's economy, and last but not the least, is there any difference in construction practices for high-rise structures between New York City and Mumbai? The main aim of this project is to fill in the three different types of research methods were adopted for this research project, one of which was the quantitative finding survey. A set of 13 questionnaires were prepared related to the project topic to study people's opinion and the knowledge they have about the role play of government in the construction sector, also the effect of construction cost management in country's economy. The project survey also had an open-ended question to learn what people feel about the project hypothesis regarding the change in construction practices in developing country, India, for high-rise buildings. The survey was out with the help of Google Form. Survey helps the project with quantitative data which is then further analyzed and placed in the report. Most of the participants for the survey were professionally working under either construction sector or government sector. On a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate the involvement of government in construction industry? Do construction industry affect nation's economy? Material cost and design work affect the overall budget of the project? These were the type of questions which were included in the survey to know people's opinion about how much they know with respect to construction practices and high-rise structures within the city itself. On a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate the difference between the design of tall towers and high-rise structures in the US and the India? Gave a key function to the survey which will help us to understand what people know about the difference in different nations. It was also attached with an open-end question. There were total 52 responses for my 13 questionnaires, which was further helpful for me in my research project. Apart from survey, the other research method which was opted in this research project was interview. An interview can collect brief evidence and story founded on interviewee's personal experience. For this project, the personal interview session was held with the managing director of a real estate company in Mumbai. In this personal one-to-one session, many questions regarding the project topic and hypothesis were placed and answered as well. The managing director of a real estate company named Mahendra Jain was working under Ricky Ronnie Developers. He has gone through a 15 years of experience in construction sector and was very well known and profound in his area. He was very helpful for us in this research project because he came up with all the project topic questions and hypotheses, and he gave his valuable input regarding those research questions and project hypothesis. Apart from the interview, I even presented a case study with respect to my project topic. A case study for this project will focus on the two specific high-rise buildings, one from a developed nation and other from the developing nation, showcasing the differences between the design and materials used for their construction. As a result, It even gave essential comparative analysis of two models and how developing nation can upgrade. For my case study in this project topic, I went through the tallest tower in Mumbai, the Imperial One, versus the tallest tower in New York, One World Trade Center. With the help of this case study, I was able to signify the differences between the materials used in both the buildings, the design work and architecture. Not only that, the steel framework structures, how weather relates to their construction practices, and how they are different from each other. The distinguish between these two buildings has helped us out in this research project to move towards our hypothesis and to avoid the null hypothesis. Now let's move towards the triangulation of the research project. Triangulation can be defined as a cross method where two or more research methods are used as a quantitative and a qualitative finding in the single study. For our research project, there are similarities between all the three types of research methods. The triangulation in here will help us to discover the role of government in the construction industry, to identify the contrasting project budget and cost management and its effect on the economy, to observe the difference in construction practices of high-rise buildings between developed and developing countries. As the responses came up from the participants in the survey and the interviewer's personal opinion, it has also given us a brief similarity between the construction practices in India as well as the US. But there are many things which aren't similar between both the nations. These are the main constraints faced by the developing nation as compared to the developed nation. For example, as per the interviewee's personal opinion, he came up saying that government plays a significantly important role in the construction industry. Government can be a provider as well as government can be a client. There is no legal construction activity without their alliance. So we have to go through their authorities and alliance to construct any kind of structure on any kind of land and anywhere on the world. But in India, these type of authorities and permissions aren't available easily. They had to go through many kinds of bribings and corruption. Plus, the case study and the survey has helped us to distinguish the differences between the construction practices in the US and India. The responses which came up from the participant was very helpful as they strongly agreed that there were differences between architects and design work of high-rise structures in New York as compared to Mumbai. Not only that, they also strongly agreed to the fact that construction industries do affect the nation's economy. And for the open-end question, they came up with the responses like, yes, Mumbai can adopt the construction practices from the US. It may take time, they have to go through many technological differences, and they have to upgrade their construction practices. But they will reach up to a certain level where USA is working right now. In the end, I would just like to say that the triangulation process was the key process in my research project, which has helped me to conclude the main primary objective of the research. And the conclusion may signify that yes, the developing nation like India can adopt the construction practices from a developed nation like the US.